Flat Earth British, Martin Liedtke speaking. Welcome peeps, welcome to the great Flat Earth British think tank for another nectar post. This one's for the nectarians. Yeah, we've got some really unbelievable stuff, some valuable information today and some puzzle pieces which are going to fall into place right here today. Now what am I talking about? Okay, now buckle in. So, in this field of alternative history, okay, we sort of propose, but we know that this place is a reset system, okay. The evidence is on the ground, okay. This is ancient cultures. This is Rome, they call Greece, the Phoenicians, ancient Persia, the pyramids, okay. All of these ancient civilizations have all been taken out in apocalyptic events. You can see it when you look at the photographs, all, in my mind, at the same time. There seems to have been a giant reset in the Middle Ages, 1530, if you can trust the calendar, that is, or around that time. Now, as I said, evidence is abundant on the ground, but in the literature, it's rare. Okay, it's rare. Now, what I suspect has happened here is I don't suspect the controllers or the Jesuits thought that anyone might take the time to read a Middle Ages, Middle French letters concerning this flood. Okay, so something slipped through and it's unbelievable evidence. Why? Well, we posted a couple of posts ago concerning the terrible deluge of the noble city of Rome, 1530, same year. So there's a terrible deluge, tsunami if you like, taking out Rome, and now the lowlands of Holland all taken out, massive death toll, exactly the same year. But there's something else that we should know concerning this. You ready? Okay, here we go guys, here we go again. Okay, buckle in, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if you do. Okay, and we're just going to get into some hardcore nectar. There's a lot in this post. I'm going to get through what I can because I just want this out. Okay, been super busy. I won't be doing too much reading because every time I read, my mind just wanders off. I can't seem to concentrate. But I am in Britain, so if you're in Britain, you have my deepest sympathies. They turned off the sun like a long time ago and hasn't come back. It just rains. It's grey. Well, it's Britain, so whatever. Onward. Peace and love and gratitude always. Okay, gotta be grateful. And this was a big clue. Now this is the book or the manuscript dug up by Matt Ferguson, and it's a letter between two brothers concerning the terrible events. Now I spotted clues here, so this is the depiction. There's a few more in there. So it gives you Flanders, Holland and Zealand. To my knowledge, the lowlands are really level and flat, aren't they? I don't think there's any mountains. I don't think you get any bumpy bits, so you get down to the Ardennes. So Flanders has got like castles on top, understandable because of the flood waters. Holland also, and Zealand. Okay, although that is an island. So I'm not sure what's going on and why they appear to have palm trees. I wasn't saying appear. And then I noticed that in the sky. I thought, oh dear, I hope not. Is this the case? And then instantly, like your mind's just jumped to, you thought comet. And I thought, what's the chances of this flood happening in Rome and this giant apocalyptic event happening in the lowlands of Europe and there being a comet going over at exactly the same time? I wondered if there was. And there was, and something else that we should be aware of. This, in my mind, is definite. Here's the brilliant translation. Okay, so basically, he's done the translation. I may have mentioned on my last post I thought 8 million might have died, but it seems that might be the way they just, translate to you the financial cost. Now there's massive clues in part 1 and 2. I'm not going to cover them, and I'll show you why now. Is because Matt has opened a channel which he basically narrates these his own translations in a very epic manner. I would bastardize it in comparison, guys. Okay, the guy has, dulcet American tones. He's, you can actually understand him. And if you haven't learnt Martinese by now, I suspect you're still struggling, aren't you? So I am trying. Okay, to me I sound like proper English. To you I sound like I don't even know. Anyway, that's just me. So this is a letter between two brothers. Don't want to read too much, as I said, because my mind keeps wandering off. It's just a really weird thing. Anyway, so it's a lamenting letter, and he's calling on his brother about the terrible, pitiful events, and he's holding back the tears. But they talk about, in my mind, mud flood. So he paints a picture of this is basically caused by the sins of people living in these countries, and they didn't recognise they recognise God or his mother, and who is starting to oppose the laws and create sects, so much so that everything is getting corrupted, and it's questioned if that is paid by the bearing pain of punishment for their evil, in the way that the countless people have drowned, been killed or submerged under sand and other soil, mud, and ruined in buildings that fell quickly, so they fell down as well, and were lost in perdition. So my brother, I am recounting this piteous and lamentous news to you, and I feel no pleasure in reading. Okay, so you should know that on All Saints' Day the weather was beautiful in Flanders. So it started raining, and then it just basically, guys, got apocalyptic. So I'm going to skip through because I'm going to turn you on to a better reading. Okay, but I got to read this because of the cluage. Now it says here, at the same time the seas rose like whirlpools. Matt says the translation is probably referring to tidal waves. Not in my mind. A whirlpool is a whirlpool, and tidal wave is a tidal wave. So I'm going to give a little few thinking, a little bit of an extension on thinking to the Phoenician watery reset system, as in, seabeds coming up and land possibly falling. This sort of might suggest this. So whirlpools, I'll show you something else connected with whirlpools a little bit later. And it lifted at such a height that it reached 3 lances, about 18 foot above sea level. And those lords and governors and multitudes on the ramparts and the levees realised that it was not possible for any living man to go up against such a powerhouse. The elevation of the said sea scared the life out of people. They started leaving, but seeing the waves and the great sea, were all surprised by the flow of the water, and they reached the ramparts, but it was too late because all got submerged and drowned. This is why they could not be warned, their wives and children in the villages. So anyway, after the seawater invaded the flatlands in such a manner, it covered 50 leagues in width and much more in length, and wherever the waters reached villages without fortifications, so without star forts, you're going underwater. So also star forts, definite flood prevention as well, multi-purpose. It also ruined houses and drowned people on tops of their houses, which was a horrifying thing because it also swept along their belongings, and it was a pitiful case to see. You should know that the said flood did great harm to villages, but also to innumerable big cities were damaged, such as Delft, Lecluse, Ghent, Despot. They were entirely ruined. Also Antwerp. Its cellars were all submerged in muck. So also the towns of Haarlem, Alan, De Bosch, and neighbouring cities, and also the island of Zeeland that was completely submerged in water, to the point that it didn't appear that the land was inhabited. So Zeeland gone. So also the said adventure happened on the 8th day of November around 3:30 on a clear morning with heavy winds. As far as the people that died goes, the estimate is 20 to 30,000, but we cannot really count for sure. But the official narrative is in hundreds of thousands. I've seen estimates of up to 400,000. Okay guys, I'll show you one estimate now, which is 100,000 anyway. So Righteous lost estimated 8 million inundations. This is the financial figure. Okay, and then they had some pumping to get the water off. So said water started going back down, and the people stayed on the land and used some device to push water back, with the water little by little. But the water had receded, and they found that there was deer, pigs, boars, oxen, foxes, sheep, and other dead animals in great quantity. So they started burying the carcasses as easily as possible, as they were in great fear of putrefying bodies, and the people and the animals would corrupt the air, miasma, and the pestilence and mortality should not happen in this country. Okay, it goes on. There's a second part as well, which actually talks about giants as well in this part. Matt, as I'll show you in a minute, covers it absolutely beautifully. So he turned us onto this, shares these. So I want to show big gratitude to Matt, because this is extra evidence that this actually went down. Okay, but look at this. A flying dragon. So why are they always on? Like, I've got an antique book which says that over the Bristol Channel dragons were fighting again, and I thought, are they on about EM-Tech? Are they on about, you know, ships fighting? What are they on about? And here it is again. Okay, where he states the flying dragon that could be seen for a few leagues, making a lot of noise, darkening skies. So again, dragons. Okay, dragons. Not giants, dragons. I meant to say dragons. So anyway, thank you, Matt. This is absolutely brilliant. So this will be linked, and you can hear it all as I will show you now. Excuse me. On Matt's epic new channel. So they had a couple of pictures to go with this event, and they show you it's all mud. The water's coming right up to this city of Romerswohl. And what we've noticed is we can see this water line and this damage on all of antiquity up to a certain line. So this flood, I think, was total. I think this is what we're looking at, is what they will call Noah's flood. Oh, that was me. I'm painting pictures or colouring pictures. And this is just out of Google. This is Netherlands' later one. She goes under quite often. All antiquity. Look at all the mud. Higher than this. It brought all mud in, and I guess this is what it looked like. They don't even look like they're in 1700s 1500s clothes, but they don't give you too many pictures. And I'm guessing this is a 1700s lead atlas of Friesland. There's a bits on there I don't understand. The maps are different from now because of that inundation. But why on earth would you have a river, the Flavius, like Flavius, river running through a lake? How can you have a river running through a lake? Is this a dry lake? How can you have a river and another river running through a lake? And these are all of these marshlands. These are talked about being created from that flood, and that's why they're still there now. Or there then in 1700s. Okay, they pumped it all off the land, these huge amounts. And I'm guessing it got pretty bad to go this far inland to get, you know, Antwerp and stuff. So total, excuse me. And we did have later maps. Okay, so it is in the official narrative. I've seen estimates of 400,000. This is in the top 10 apocalyptic floods in history, and it's come up as number 6 for 1530. The St. Felix flood happened on the 5th of November. On the day of St. Felix in the Netherlands. Most of the land of the Netherlands was washed away, and more than 120,000 people were killed. Nowadays, the submerged area included Flanders, Zeeland, and Romerswohl cities, completely turned into salt marsh area, what we just seen on that map. The day was recognized as Evil Saturday. Evil Saturday. Okay? So the St. Felix event's pretty apocalyptic. Now here's Matt's channel, Regaining the Balance. I will link this underneath. Like I explained, you know, he does an absolutely brilliant job of narrating historical accounts of dragons 3 hours ago, and he did this: the terrible deluge of the noble city of Rome, exactly the same year, 1530, very much, sorry. Atlantis, which I was listening to a bit of earlier, that was really, really good, actually. And this, okay, so if I just dot my volume, I'll give you a little taste.
Regaining the Balance. My name is Matt, and today we have a very special video for you guys. This is a video about a document I found written in the 1530s, and it describes the...
Sounds pretty nice, Matt. So that's what he's doing. So yeah, you can check that on there, okay, and all the information you need, okay. So thanks, Matt. But the picture of the comet, and I went looking, and then bam, I thought, oh yeah, I get the picture. So 1830s, the decade ran from the 1st of January 1530 to December the 31st 1539. The year 1530 was the common year, started on a Saturday, okay, and link will display the full calendar of the Julian calendar. Now there's an anomaly here which I'm confused about, but I know the Julian calendar took a long time to be in, in full fruition across Europe and different time scales, but something come up and I want to show you it now. I think it's a clue for the same events. Okay, so there was a calendar shift that year of Rome being underwater, and also Holland. Okay, so Julian calendar proposed by Julian Caesar 708. It was a reform of the Roman calendar, and it took effect on the 1st of January 709, 45 BC, by edict, and it was designed by the aid of Greek mathematicians, Greek astronomers, and whatever of Alexandria. So that was when it came about. Let's have a little look at this. So they literally link in with the comet, the St. Felix event, just to tell you that there's an apocalyptic event in the official narrative. And skull and crossbones. Oh dear. Some deado. Oh, I guess they're lamenting, isn't they? And a battle of Preveza, so it was a bit of a battle going on as well. 1530, do ships look like that in 1530? They look a lot later. Who knows? So, they had a calendar change as well. Okay, guys, on the same year, and there was a comet, and there was an apocalyptic flood. It seems to be a bit of an eventful year. What's this? The Knights of Malta were formed. Were they now? And on, well, just prior to the St. Felix event, did they have some sort of meeting, like a Bilderberg? Isn't that interesting? Anything else for that year? No. So, I thought of myself, and I thought of a clue. I've posted about it twice on my old channel, Flat Earth British, Matt Liedtke, but that's been hacked. Now YouTube are keeping it for whatever reason. I can't even be bothered. Fucking keep it, don't want it. And I posted about the Welsh tsunami. Now, where I'm standing now, over my roof, would have been a tsunami coming down here quicker than the speeding racehorse from the west, where I sit in now. And in this year of 1609, okay, just prior to the 1630, I would have been underwater here. They say in the official narrative it took a generation to heal and killed many, many thousands in South Wales. And they say again there was another calendar shift. I think they're talking about the same event. This tsunami, them tsunamis, or them floods, I think they're all the same event. Okay, so this is on a parish over in, I suppose, Newport Way, but they're over on the other side on Gold Cliff, this one. And it commemorates it. But you get other plaques, and it's a no thank you. It's a flood plaque on Gold Cliff Parish Church, and it's up like this high or something. So the one-off tsunami unleashed an irresistible force and left 2,000 dead on a powerful storm surge that caused a trail of devastating destruction around the coastline, left valuable by inadequate defences. That's the question which surrounds recent research of the Great Flood that was described moving faster than a greyhound can run. So that's pretty quick. When it hit Stuart Britain in 1607. Oh, well, it says 1609 there, and it says 1607 there. Why would that be, guys? Because the event happened bang on the calendar shift, guys, again. So it's a comet, it's an apocalyptic event, it's a giant tsunami, many people get killed, and they shift the calendar. This is not a rewrite of history, a reset. So a Welsh author's looked into it, I guess. Okay, killing thousands. Okay, they don't look too much into this though. The energy released was the equivalent of 23,000 Hiroshima-sized atomic bombs. Oh, really? So it goes on about floods. So there you are, 7 tsunami. I had the only 2 fucking videos out. Now they're taken out. It's a bit of a shit. So yeah, you can trace this all over the South Wales coast. It went from Carmarthen out in the west all the way to Chepstow in the east, covering the whole of South Wales. I think it's the same event. Okay, and there was a calendar shift, which is why it says 1609 there and 1607 there. Okay, like I said, in different parts of Europe it took a different time to come in. It's crazy stuff. So evidence that there was a big apocalyptic flooding event and comets all at the same time, Britain as well included, and that was what I know, 20 odd years, whatever they say, but it was a calendar shift exactly the same time. How can you have a Juliana Gregorian calendar shift in 1607 to take it to 1609 and then further 30 years later? Okay, sorry. That is a question I have to know excuse me, the answer to. Welsh. Oh, it was a shame that Welsh tsunami 1927. Oh dear. So there's a Bristol flood, 1607 they got there, and on the plaques it says 1609. So that's Wales Online, that's Wikipedia. I suspect that might take a time to load up. Let's have a look. No. So there it is. Drawn many people, destroyed large buildings and farmlands and livestock, high tides. Okay, let's have a look. So this is Nash Point, which is about, I don't know, less than 10 miles from where I'm sitting now. Temporary depiction. Oh, that's the one near, that's Nash near Newport, not Nash Point. But yeah, that church is still there apparently. And flood plaque near Newport, Gold Cliff. Loss of 5,000 of pounds besides, and that many people. So they always put things into like money, don't they, rather than over lives. So it came in noon, suffered unexpectedly high tides, so all of a surprise. Low-lying places like Devon, Somerset, Gloucester, South Wales were flooded. Devastation particularly severe in Wales side, extending from Armagh to Carmarthenshire to Chepstow in Monmouthshire. An estimated 2,000 more people were killed. 200 square miles of farmland were inundated, livestock destroyed. Green sands swallowed up. So pretty apocalyptic. Just wondering where it says about the calendars. Tsunami hypothesis. Something fell off of a Canaries Island. So we're going to look at some Middle Ages depictions and books. I'm going to link everything up. It's in the same theme at the moment of flood and inundation. Now this is a sort of Kirchner book from a little bit later, but I think this one's from 1500s, late 1500s. And basically it's a totem, so it's a death dance, and they give you like all apocalyptic scenarios. This one's Noah's flood, okay, and they do like Lot and, you know, burning of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all of death there, so making it happen. It's really spooky. It's brilliant depictions. It's best to bring up thumbnails. Hope I'm not glitching. So yeah, they got hundreds of depictions in. Yes, really cool stuff. I will show you now. That's Adam and Eve. What we got here? Oh no, that's the flood. There is one with Adam and Eve and the serpent. Adam, Eve, wave. So there's Adam and Eve in paradise. Death's there, and the serpent. What's that? Sort of oh, that's the apple, is it? It's got a bit of a stick coming out of it. Sinister, anyway. So it's an old German, Adam and Even. So I'll link that one to you. There's probably 100 images in there, and this one is to do with basically the heating systems in Phoenician buildings. Now the Romans, who the Phoenicians, they had hypercost under their floors, and I found this old document. It's definitely the Phoenicians with the seashell themes, etc., decoration, no doubt about it. And they have these. Now I think they're working on a steam system. They're little pyramids. You know, maybe fire in here or what have you, boil some water, drive it through here, but really, really beautiful, and really, really early. I'll show you some examples. So it's Phoenician hypercost systems, heating systems, etc. So it might be connected with alternative energy fireplaces, with the andirons, etc., and them steam plates that we've seen under the front of them. And they come like this as well, and really elaborate plans. So this would be in the air, would it? Nope, on rollers. But the tech in it, guys. So I'm suspecting that's a flashy oven. Okay, don't think they do them in this day and age. So what else do they got? All very interesting. So this is that steam thing. I'm suspecting it's steam. Oh, different compartments, smaller and smaller, like pyramid nesting. Oh yeah, so the fire's there, steam, boiling. So steam powered heating in Phoenician houses. Is that a cine camera? Is that a camera? Are these cameras? That's weird. So have a little look more, see what we discover together, guys. Please share this out, please. So I want to thank everybody who subscribed. Got a few of our peeps back. 10,000 coming to 11,000 now. Keep it coming up, guys, because there are still like a lot of people still out there missing. So eagle, wings open, fasces, what looks like a wormhole. 2 wormholes. And the orb, the resetting comety orb, possibly. And the fire goes in there. Wow. Always behind the veil, isn't it? Like they're hiding the secrets. Always. All the world's a stage. What else we got in here? It's flipping brilliant. So there's that one. So look at this. So they're them balls. So they distilling. Why is it going smaller and smaller, increasing pressure? Yeah. And the pressure will drive it through the cistern, through a big house, all steam powered. What about the orb? What's the orb doing? Just the top of it. Wow. Some boiler. Don't even have that now. It's rubbish now compared to that. I bet he wouldn't have to phone out like heating maintenance every other winter because it packed up because it got cold. Excuse me. Again, Phoenician shells. All right, and it goes up into the wall. Hot steam. Now you find this in like American cities, like I think New York still has like something like 20,000 buildings or something steam powered. But look at this. Wow. What an elaborate sort of setup. Let's get going through a few more. So, heating in Phoenician houses knocks spots off of anything you got today. I'm sorry to tell you. Alright, it's coal burning. That's why they didn't need coal fires. The walls were hot, the floors were hot. They didn't need coal fires at all. Maybe they were just there from the previous reset. Look at this Phoenician tech. Always with the shells. See, beautiful. I'm going to move on because I've got quite a bit to show you, but you get the idea. The Phoenicians are steam powered in their houses using unbelievable technologies. This is another booklet I can pass you. I'm not sure of the exact context, except out of it's another universal hieroglyphicon. But what I did notice is it was Solomon's sigils. So these things are spells, but each one affects. In my mind, I think it's to do with, like, I was going to say hyperdimensional physics, but to the other realms. It's like a conduit, if you like, and you'll always get this number code, and if it's set in a certain way, which you get on a famous picture which is up on the wall behind me, Melancholia, okay, it's Libra, it will do a specific thing. It will do a specific thing. There will be a specific outcome in reality. The controllers, the black magicians in the Vatican, they will use these to some great extent. So a combination of numbers, or a cube within a cube. So that's a tesseract. So a tesseract is our closest frame of reference for the fourth dimension. So this is tapping into, I suppose you could call other realms, demonic realms, angelic realms, spiritual realms, and they are using Solomon sigils around them, which also Michael O'Lynn just posted. Excuse me, sorry about that. All the way around, and it's in a circle. So Solomon sigil magic, each one doing a specific. And they're just exactly like electrical circuitry sigils. So this, anyone is an advanced mathematician, any Ramanujas in the audience, please knock yourself out and find out what the fucking hell's going on. We know so little of our reality. That's a good date. So pretty hard to know exactly what's going on outside of what I just said, but yeah, it's magic, and it's affecting. It's just it's stuff that would have been out of our frame of reference, and we couldn't really understand. But now we're getting a grasp of it, if that makes sense. And again, more advanced mathematical equations in there. What does it mean? What does it mean? There's the Aries, Saturnian, Taurus, Bacchanal, Gemini, Sagras, Cancer, Radar, Leo, Sagum, Virgo, Ihabdra, Libra, Graphagodon, Scorpio, Recall, Sagittarius, Vunari, Aquarius, Pisces, and I can't even remember what that is. What else we got? Nothing I can make sense out of, but yeah, strange spells in, well, this is nice, in a form of Solomon sigils. So we're going to look through these. This is the Low Countries and France. There are chateaus there in the past, after them events, and all of the houses are being renovated and the gardens are all new. So we're going to have a look through because they're basically beautiful. Everything planted new, but the mud-flooded world is still apparent. I'm guessing they're watercolours. And just after these events, you'll always get these, which are walled gardens. The walls, well, I don't think it's to keep the peasants out. I think it's to keep something else out. And it's the only place you can basically grow food. You see them on roofs during these periods. And then you get the people coming into the Star Fort. Not sure. So if it is a Christian cross, it's a weird looking one. And that one is protected behind a nice Star Fort wall. Everything outside inundated. Move on. So, beautiful Star Fort city again. All the antiquities buildings. Pre-reset. Something completely different. And all new trees. Always new trees, even in the cities of anywhere. If you look in the mid-Victorian era, the photographs, everywhere's got new. It doesn't matter if you're Mexico City, Rio de Janeiro, Pretoria. It doesn't even matter. They will all have the same architecture and new trees. Like the whole thing's just turned up. So that's nice and high. I'm gathering that would have been fine. Which is why it's still there. What are they? Windmills. Okay, what else we got? Marl. Oh, that's lovely. She's nice and high and out of the way of the water. Okay. I'm guessing this is why we got no massive trees left. This one's been hit or underwater. Still got the sediment on it. An old red brick, Tartarian red brick ruins, which has been underwater again. You can look at it in the case of entropy and time, guys, but you know the documents are clearly, you know, the crossovers are unmistakable, and you know these advanced star forts from another time, another intelligence. They want us to believe they were put together when everyone's, you know, their architecture in their cities, you know, is nothing like what we're seeing here. These are fractal geometry bursting forth out of the ether tech. This is just killer tech, stunning tech. It's got us all perplexed. We got ideas, but Europe has the abundance of them, and the Americas. Britain, not that many. Some Plymouth, there's one in Chatham in London, and a few up north, Fort William, other places, Alderney in the Channel Islands. Look at that one, higher ground, Montmedy. So beautiful star forts, and they will save you in a flood if it's high enough and you can get in there. I'm guessing that's lines, trench lines. Plan for Luxembourg, and there's the city of Luxembourg I've covered on my last channel. She's got an amazing star fort, this one. Wow. So there's hundreds of these, and they're showing you post-reset world. Some voyages of a highness, because he was high up where they're alright. That's where you want to build your star fort, on the way of the fucking water, because it's gonna flood. God, look at it. But there's beaver tech as well. It would break the water coming in at force, dissipate it, so it didn't smash it to smithereens. But they do go deep. But they would be able to dissipate or break a wave. Dam technology, beaver dam, among other things. So that's taking water in. Can't say if it's exactly going straight out. They all work on water, hydraulic systems. Yeah. See another one of these bandstands. Look at that. What's the point? Folly. What about the tower? What would that do? So I'm guessing battle lines. And Oth, Starford. And I've seen Starford. So we're moving on. I'll pass these to you. They go on forever. But time is of the essence because it is getting on for 6 o'clock UK time. Now I posted on my last channel many moons ago Mundus Subterraneus, but under new information concerning floods and all that. I'm thinking this is part of a giant Phoenician water system, or what you would call Romans, as in giant aquifers feeding the antique world with revitalised living water. But everything seems wrong with the maps anyway. India doesn't look like that, does it? It's too thin. Arabia doesn't look like that. So I have a bad cartography, but they give you these giant aquifers in continents, and they're all underground, and it's all part of a system that's connected with whirlpools and underground tunnels. It'll show you that the Panama Canal and the Suez Canal are already there, and we're not there in the Victorian era, but I'm going to show you them on images of the day up by here, which I'll link up. Now, Greece. I'm going to look at Greece for a second. Now, this is supposed to be far off antiquity Greece, okay guys, and it looks like in late Victorian images that this place has recently undergone some sort of event. Now the British went there in the 1800s and they took a load of bas reliefs off of there here. I think these might be some of them. Of the Parthenon, and they took them to Britain, but I think it's because of the content of what was housed in the marbles, more than just the marbles. Why would you take them? And something came through, a tidal wave hit the tops of all of these columns. Greece literally looks like it wasn't long ago underwater. You can see all the reliefs there, Corinthian tops on their columns, and all of this, look. So I'm not sure what happened to the giant city of Athens. It just doesn't seem to be there at this period. What you will find is the antique world, smashed in Greece. But no giant Athens. Nobody's about except for the odd dude. Nobody. And they put their temple up high on a plateau, which looks like a tree trunk. So this one. It's got fortifications, it looks a bit Baalbek-y. Look at this. Mud's still there, or the sand. All the way up to that. So yeah, they basically stole the marbles. So, up the Parthenon. Elgin marbles are collected, Greek classical marble sculptures made under the supervision of the architect sculptor Phidias and his assistants. They were originally part of the temple of the Parthenon and the buildings of the Acropolis in Athens. And then Thomas Bruce came along in the 7th Earl of Elgin and removed half of the surviving sculptures of the Parthenon, as well as the sculptures from Arapilia, I can't even pronounce that, and Arachitium. And the marbles were transported by sea to Britain. Elgin claimed later to have obtained in 1801 an official decree, by the government of the Ottoman Empire and the rulers of Greece. So basically Greece won them back in the modern day is the score. So these are the reliefs. Let's have a look. So they took them off the Parthenon and they put them into exhibition. Ancient Greek horsage. Looks like it's made of plaster of Paris. There's some red in there. So, cryptoids. So, cryptoids strangling a dude. Ugh. And these from ancient Greece, removed. Phoenicians. So they had to move them off Greece. They had to take them from Athens. They had to ship them or get them to Piraeus, port for Athens, because Athens doesn't have a port. And then they got to stick them on a ship, get them all the way back to London. I guess so. They ripped off Egypt the same way. But why just them? Why some? A lot of Freemasons oogling them. Something more going on with the Elgin marbles. There's a lot of detail in them, isn't there? All that effort to ship them, though. I'm guessing some tools, brain surgery, and some cavalrymen. Some modern day sculpturage. He looks water damaged. That's what it looks like. It's been underwater, maybe. And there it is in modern day. As you can see, it's all populated here now. They're still there, that wall. But their buildings high. But the size in the city that's arrived since that photograph. Yeah, all there into the distance. Check it out in the past. Oh shit, sorry. Is it there? Oh, sorry, I lost the photographs of no, it's there. There. So there's nothing in the background, and that castle's not on the top. Nothing in the background, and the castle's not on the top. City's not even there. So that's new. Since the 1800s. It was interesting. So yeah, just another bit of interest. They ripped off some of the marbles, took them to Britain for no apparent reason whatsoever. And this is another video concerning the destruction of antiquity. This one is just, you can literally see dozens and dozens of these where they're ripping down beautiful, beautiful technosmia devices. It's a heartbreaker. Let's keep an eye out for metal inside the superstructure. Let's forward it on a bit. Metal. Metal. Right the way through in a circular. Rebab to hold the rotunda in place, or something else. Cathedral. Cathode. Guys, cathedral. Think about this. Just move forward on. I hope I'm not glitching in any way. Excuse me. It's my son. My son had a competition this week. I'll talk about that soon. So yeah, it's all metal right the way through. That even looks metal. A little bit more further in. So cathedral, cathode. And we find, I could give you evidence now of steel, or iron, right the way through these structures. In many of them, when they've been knocked down. And it's in the middle of nowhere, look, a field again. So technology device being destroyed. They'll have that down by the end of the day, no problem. Such a shame. I'll link that up to you. It links you to loads, look, where they're getting rid of all like Tartarian buildings and stuff. So that's really crazy. We're moving on. So that's Athens, which I'm going to link you up. I got the full atlas here, and I give you photographs every vlogage, but I got problems in loading Gallica. These are that Athens one again, and they show you an amphitheatre, which looks like it's been recently underwater, destroyed. The waters have gone, but you get this like shack in the middle, old workman's shack, shed, centre of a bloody ancient amphitheatre. And this is Athens again. Corinthian tops, identical to what you get at Baalbek, showing that these are the same peoples. You can have swords and chariots and all that bullshit for like all of our reality, and then only get it on in the last 100 years or so. It's just bullshit, guys. So that's nice Coptic red brick feel to it. St. Theodore. Wow, she's a bit different. Excuse me. So, hopefully this is what they do. They just do not bloody... Oh, there you are. So we've got more Phoenicians on a wall. In ancient Greece. Only Athens hasn't shown up yet. See these here? Dovecots? I don't think they're dovecots. I think they're something else. Is that an aerial? Is that an aerial? Oh yeah! Oh, what are you doing there? 1890s? Have a look at the Phoenicians or the Greeks. Oh, a giant! We have a giant. Our first giant of the Flat Earth British vlog. And it is bas reliefs of the Theatre of Bacchus. Of course it is. Because Bacchus is a Phoenician. And it's not the Greeks, it's the Phoenicians. As I just sort of proved in a way. I think I've been there. Decyra. Not sure. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm going to link them up to you. They're pretty shit hot. And I got these I found as well of an expositions and chateaus in France. But check this building, guys. So it's a level down here, ancient, goes up a bit more, and then up there. Check how old that is. There's not even a window in there. Damp and atmospheric, but completely different styles of stones from there. It's built on top of the other, reset after reset. That one. There's stone. Stone. Stones. Who knows? So Gallagher a bitch to load, so I've loaded a load of photos anyway for the images of the day. These are the images I wanted to give you as well. I'll link everything up, and they are of German antiquity, of knights and plates and stuff like that. Okay, we're moving on. Excuse me. So this is my other channel, Flat Earth British Think Tank, and I posted on your Friday for you all the Arcadian Utopia and a Welsh knot. It's about a year old video, but I was surprised of how much good relative stuff was still in it. People thought it was still like now, that was me now, but it wasn't. It was like a year ago, so crazy. So yeah, if you want to watch that and subscribe to this channel, this is an alternative channel, I suppose my backup channel for this channel now, if that makes sense. And my son, who's Lawrence Liedtke, who's Welsh Dragon Metals, had a competition this week where he done Welsh Dragon Metals Golden Giveaway result winner, and guess who won? Lee said, Lee Flat Earth British subscriber channel, who is Lee, not me, said that if I win, right, give my gift, or my prize to Mary Billings, okay, who's on there, okay, because we love Mary Billings, okay, she's there, Mary. And somebody else, and because he was done dice, number one never got a prize, so we sent something to somebody else who was in Cornwall, and presents, gifts, and a little something from us today to Mary Billings, okay, because we love Mary Billings, okay, over in Texas land. So that's always nice. Make sure it's up to my son, okay, he's making a fine effort in doing what he does. Okay, he's bringing some sort of truth, because, you know, that's alternative currency, and if currencies go, which they very, very possibly will, gold. Okay, a lot of holding, guys, can't touch it. So we're going to look at some photographs of antiquity. We've looked at some of these before. This is Belgium. And what you get is a giant contrast between the antique world, the antiquity world, the Tartarian world, and the later comers, post-resets, time after time after time. And the onion domes, and these same massive mansions with these rotundas. And these bandstands with Antiquitech. What were they for? Did you just walk on them and teleport into another city? Is that what was going on? They are everywhere. Post-reset, they become a bandstand. I can't see that. Bandstands. Somebody can watch fucking Umta on brass bands. That's shit. Nobody likes that. It's alright, like, you know, on Sunday, but not really. It's pretty crap. They're skiving, hiding behind a bush. Your boy there. That's a nice little picture. Are they soldiers? No, they are all boys. Ah! Okay. So relatively new trees, obviously, maybe 10-year-old, a bit more. And at the bottom of their street is some really, really weird looking bandstand with a dome on top. What would that be for? What would it be for? What would be its use? And the existence of the Phoenicians, 1800s, still there, still Rome, still survived with their water tech and their very recognisable architecture. This is your Tartarian architecture, built high. This thing goes so low, but you can see how top heavy they are, but we see these in every city in so-called Christendom. And you get the other styles as well. There's one of those again. Right, what we got here is I thought it was Leipzig. I watched a brilliant video of one of those tram trips through Leipzig in the 30s. My God, what a beautiful city. Munich, which is a beautiful, beautiful city. Munich, can't tell us anything for clueage, except this. Oh yes, it can. 1890s. Where's the telegraph poles? Huh. Telling me they put them underground. No telegraph poles here either, is there? I'm just wondering if we're looking at another place completely. This is the Vatican. They're really weird. They like to decorate their dead for some fucking reason. They're really. Is that a plant? I'm guessing that's outdoors then. Wow. Nobody's around. And there's the existence of that Phoenician world again. This is Rome. I'm guessing that's the Spanish Steps. So, the watery wickedness of the Phoenicians. And this is from the dome of St. Peter's. And this is a giant sundial. Where's the shadow? Is that the shadow? Yeah. So, it's 9 o'clock. And of course it's the inertia plane and the four angels as well. And then no people. Active waterfalls. Where are all the people? And the forum. If anything happened on the way to the forum, been there. And they got cats running around. Apparently been there since the Romans. So this has all been underwater. The mud still visible. Okay. Dug away by Mussolini in the 1930s. Also, Italy, that strange pyramid and out of place and not in Egypt. Not sure what that is. So it's a grave. Somebody wanted to be buried in a pyramid. What about this? So up the steps. These trees seem old. Water, fountains, up it goes, up it goes, up it goes, up it goes. They even got their own little entrance there with a door. So this is for different levels of floodplain. So flood comes up to you, you can go through that door. Flood comes up to there, you can go through that door. Flood goes through there. And eventually, if you get the big one, you can walk, bring your boat in, like in Venice, up to there and walk through the door. That makes sense. So I wonder what drives all of them fountains. They must have all stuff underneath. So more Roman, Phoenician, watery technology. Studying the stonework. So that goes under your house. This is a pump house. Casta da Vecchia. And this is apparently what it says here, not connected, but in a way it is the campaigns of Julius Caesar in Belgium and Gaul. Not Belgique, doesn't really exist at that time, but Gaul and Belgium, 697, the year 697 or so they say. So apparently this is the manoeuvres of Julius Caesar. All the way up to Aris. Same sort of place as the First World War. Now, going back to what we were talking about in the beginning of this vlog, and floods and etc. This is a Kirchner book from, well, basically 1600s, and he's a Jesuit, and he's the last person supposed to have any information, but it's controlled. And what he shows you is whether or not these things existed, I can't really say, guys, okay? But what I can say is he's got like a most unbelievable waterworks underground this entire plain and machines, like biblical. Like this one runs on wind, I suppose this turns and then pumps up water from under this. Is that a volcano? If so, then that is a massive concept. So we're going to go through because I just want to show you Kirchner. And he does strange beasts. This is the gallus. It's like a chicken thing. Don't know. And then he'll have, like, inside mountains, these artificial aquifers and like man-made pipes into what looks like a heating system. So I was looking at that and I was thinking, is this saying that, this is all subterranean machines? Is there a mechanism underneath this that's man-made from the ancient world? In this case, powering volcanoes. And you got giants. Giantess Skeletian. So that's Goliath. So he was only a little giant. So how big do giants come? Well, there's a man. There's a Goliath. There's a Helvetus. There's a giant Maronea. That sort of sings the sea. And the biggest of all, 200 cubits, is this giant compared to a little man. Yeah, so he'd easily step on you. Wow. So that's what size they come in, guys. So I don't know what's with the box of bones. I can't really establish it. Okay. They give you a box of bones, and I thought this was really, really weird. Alright, some papal dude with a papal hat on, and some kid that's got like a bouffant. But what's this? The spiral. It's really, really trippy. Wormholey. So this woman, who seems to be a religious person, lives in a cave with her, unless she's a giant, and that's a 36-year-old man, it's hard to determine, but it doesn't look like a baby. He's got a bit of a mop of hair for a baby. So I'm thinking it might be Christ, but I'm not sure because he's got a big mop of hair. Seems a bit weird. Now, this is out of the same book, but it shows you like things in antiquity. So they're doing like mummification, and they got like incredible happy hats on. And I can't really work out what's going on. What about this one? This is a Christ dude. little bit portly. This one's got no hands. That one's basket case, but he's got a happy hat, so whatever. Everyone should have a basket case. And that one's like a Yeti. I've mentioned this before. John the Baptist. John the Baptist is a hairy dude. Not only hairy, but he's a Chewbacca. In fact, a Yeti. Okay, so you heard it here first. John the Baptist is a Yeti, according to the Kirsta. Okay, just saying. Can't confirm that. And he talks about technasmia, so like sound coming out of the rooftops, like whistles, of all of these buildings. It would be beautiful. It would be harmony. It would be the strange death cult. So it's all about mirrors. So she's waving the caduceus, which according to like their narrative is to do with health and peace, but we think it's electromagnetic because she's waving it over there. So some tech, you know, like Star Trek healing thing. And they always got like the mirror or a painting of some controller. Will he do? The orb. Orpheus. Amsterdam I664. So she's writing stuff down about obelisks. And this is the strange death cult. So they're getting rid of they're getting a bunker ready in the back. Or are they digging for gold? So you'll always get the many-breasted Phoenician god thing with the head castles in Mundus Subterraneus. Eagles with orbs. So, just giving him the power to heal. She don't look ill. I think it's doing something else. You have a buzz or something. It's really weird. So underground again. So what it suggests is it's all man-made, but to the scale, like continent big. To show you now. So hydropower, right? I get it. And they got it mapped, aquifers, and then they do this, which really throws me. So they go to whirlpools. Some of them are known in the modern day. So active or hydroactive. Thermoactive heat taken out into tributaries, which are led into wormholes, or basically wormholes out in the sea. And not only these ones, they are like whirlpools, and they are whirlpools because I can establish that now. Okay, pretty long, you know, not advanced bucket, get this water up from down there, a pure system. But what's driving them wheels? Wind, maybe? It's pretty advanced. So it's Mount Etna, which we're going to cover. I'm going to cover the events in Sicily somewhere in this coming up soon, and Herculaneum and Pompeii as well. I want to cover Vesuvius. Vents and volcanoes. So this volcano, okay, is powering this beautiful city, which doesn't seem worried at all about its volcanic nature. Fault lines. No, I'm a flat earther, so don't go with plate tectonics and displacement, etc. But what I find fascinating is one of the most active, apart from the Ring of Fire, one of the most active fault lines comes along here, down here, and even through Phoenicia. So I thought it was really strange that they should have these, all of the civilizations come from the most active or earthquake zones, such as Constantinople. So here's Phoenicia. They got a giant whirlpool off of there, but they've also, if you look closely, they have a canal for the Suez Canal. Okay, which is already there, and I think it's subterranean at this period. And also in Norway, going right the way through Scandinavia. But this here, this Norwegian vortex, okay, and it tells you it's a vortices. It tells you it's a vortices, and it is, and you can find out about this on Google. Okay, so a giant whirlpool, and they're all over. But not only that, they want you to believe that from this whirlpool, I just showed you the water went to them from giant aquifers. Is this artificial? So, Mundus Subterraneus, so there's a giant system to this vortex Botanicus. So are these vortexes machinery? Are they deliberate? Is this Phoenician mechanics, watery mechanics? And then all the way through into the Baltic Sea? Really? It's not the only one either. It used to be just, it's insane the scale. I'll show you now. So this one is the same Norwegian one. It shows some sort of rock. It does give you the number. I can't find B. But like C is a Vortices. So that's there. So that's a Vortices. Excuse me. Okay, so Vortices in the Norwegian whirlpool. It brings water down underground into this subterranean. This is man-made, they want you to believe. So was he just envisioning something that was to be built, or is this actual Phoenician watery wickedness? Because they also have the Panama Canal. I'll show you. They have this. I'm not sure what this is. The Gulf Stream. No, I won't go that way. So yeah, in the centre of South America, they have this giant aquifer under the Amazon, which I find fascinating because of its scale. It must be 1,000 miles across. Magnetism in the tropics. Again, you've got from Britain this giant sort of thing going all the way to the Americas. And there's Friesland's there as well. Is that there now? Iceland is there. What about Friesland? Friesland. Is it there? No, it's not, is it? So, Hyperdimensional Island. Wales is looking weird. So is Cornwall. So is Norway. What else can we find out? So they give you the tides as well. And this giant one all the way to America. And a map of this period, 1600s, which will show you was completely surrounded by whatever, land or ice. It's got the Hyperborean there. Lands that are not really there. Friesland. Britain and Ireland look a bit far apart, don't they? So like pitiful cartography. But they managed to give you the sea, the tides. What's that? Guinea. Over Guinea. They managed to give you the tides, but they can't do cartography. It's really weird. And all of these sort of wormholes, or these whirlpools. It's just nuts. No Great Lakes, no interior as such. Volcanoes. Everything very, very peculiar. So, I'll link you this, Mundus Subterraneus. Talked about it a year ago, but under recent information of watery wickedness. So there's a giant city there. So it goes through a lake, underground, and powers all these cities. It's just fucking nuts. Especially with that steam-powered stuff. It's just same period. So apparently, under Sicily, Etna's here somewhere, and you got the cities of where's Catania? Well, I'm guessing this is Palermo. And from Sicily, you have this side, and then you have a tunnel that comes right the way under the whole of Sicily. There's Etna. Okay, and it says Cannabas ex Etna, all the way to Etna, out into this whirlpool. It's out here. Carabilis, and circular port as well. Really unusual. That has to be Syracuse. Really nuts. What's going on? I think it mapped to Phoenicians' watery underground installations. Look, all the way from here, through this lake, all the way out there to Dan, Tripoli, and Canalis Subterraneus. So they were digging it out, the Panama Canal. This is, proof that it was there in the Middle Ages. Okay, proof. Although underground. You just had to dig it out. See? It's man-made. Under mountains. These machines. To that scale. Has to be that they're there. Sorry about the... And this is Atlantis, which was between Britain and America. This is upside down now. No, actually that's Africa and Spain. You get Atlantis. So yeah, it's really unusual that they got these massive things under the continents. Subabimus hydraulicum. Almost saying that it's all like a machine underneath us. From this period, or an older period, which he's mapped. That's what he does. He reverse engineers antiquity. This is what Kirchner does. Even in the Gobi Desert, underneath the Gobi Desert, it's apparently a giant one. Giant lake. That big, 1,000 miles across. Aquifer, which they're saying is a machine and artificial. So, some pictures of antiquity. Never get to the answer with that. I think it's a communication tower, but I thought a big clue with the Tower of Babel has to be these portals. Almost as if it's going to save the day or cause the reset, but it's to do with sound. And this version of Noah's Ark is a multi-story boat in this Kirchner. And the Phoenicians. Chickens, I think. So that's a gorgon with a lizard. It's going to touch fingers. They bring fruit and stuff and food through their horn of life, and the whole of civilization's being burnt in the background. There's palm trees as well. So there's that Totten dance, which is death everywhere in culture, in the background. Or the Jesuits want you to believe. Every aspect. Every part of religion. All happenings through the Bible, which is set in the Middle Ages, by the way. Look at that, he's got active charge. So, I'm going to be moving out of this page and coming back. I got a couple more things to say to you, and I'm going to upload this because I'm never going to get to see it today. And I got images of the day, yeah. Right, Flat Earth British website. I cover this every post. There's so much happening on here, guys. This is under construction for the new, for Flat Earth British think tank to go on there. I got a shop with Flat Earth British stuff. The think tank, you can drop brilliant pictures on there. And What If, which is a beautiful little promo for this book here. Okay, this is the paperback version and the digital version you can buy through this link. Also, everything you can link me is here, my PayPal, and anybody who has Patreoned me, thank you very, very much, and all sorts there as well. I got Twitter, Instagram, I'm on there. I'm on everywhere, more or less, and that's the subjects we cover on Flat Earth British. Okay, now, let me just, sorry. I'm not sure if I actually give you my images of the day. I think I might have. There's some more there. Oh, look at this. Matt Damon. Okay, Matt Damon. He has a watch, and look what he has on his watch. An azimuthal equidistant. Isn't that nice? So, does he know it's flat? I don't know. Bought an azimuthal equidistant watch. And one of my peeps, this guy's like proper dread as well, right? He his mother ordered a load of books for Christmas, and they've all arrived. So seven books. So thank you very much for that. Right, I'm going to come back and summarise. I got so much, and I am all over the place in my head. I gotta be honest. Okay, guys, peace and love to you all. So, I explain now. This is evidence for reset system through a translation of some Felix event letters, which says there was a terrible inundation, hundreds of thousands got killed, in some narratives as many as 400,000. And it was the same as the year as the Rome event and Italy event, showing that this was very possibly widespread. Okay, and it was a calendar change, and there was a comet as well. Okay, so okay, I gotta get going, and there's a lot more besides. So, oh yeah, some thoughts before you go on word decodes. These come from One Love, thinking on electromagnetics as in EM. Okay, all in this place is electric universe. Okay, EM, empath, electromagnetic path, empath, our electromagnetic signals from our brain, empath. What about this? Emphasis, emphasis. And what is emphasis? It's to concentrate on something. So emphasis, emphasis, fasces. That's brilliant. Thank you, One Love. Loads of decodes really. I can't think of any more really, except for remember. What's remember? Remember yesterday. Does that mean to be remembered? Or remember as in redict? I don't know. It sounds a bit weird. So remember. Italy Convention. The Flat Earth, actually Tartarian, first Tartarian Convention, okay, in Lake Garda, Italy in March. Loads of you are very interested and want to go, but there's no point sending me emails because I only know as much as you until I'm told more. So I'll give you the email address for the organizer in the descriptions box for this video, and you can contact him. Okay, this is going to be the do. Okay, guys, this will be the do. I can assure you, this will be worth going to. Okay, this is a jolly of jollies. It's lovely, and it's cheap relatively. So that's me. Okay. Couldn't come Saturday. It was just not happening. It's just time and everything else. Life. So make sure to subscribe, guys. Thanks everybody's in chat. I don't know many of you are there. Peace and love to you all. Be good. Okay, I'll be back in a day or two. More evidence for the reset system. Nailed. Boom. Calendar changes. Boom. Possibly the Welsh tsunami around that time. Calendar changes as well. Headfuck. All of it. Just crazy. I know. What do you think? Let me know in comments. Please. Make sure to subscribe. See you soon. Good.